Video, I really wanted to touch on a very serious problem that I see, in a lot of people's lives, people just starting to come into the gym, and even people that are there for a while, and even in myself. When I first started off going to the gym, I noticed that this was a very big problem in my way of thinking. And this kind of problem, I would say the source of the problem is what the media really propagates, whether it's, um, the people shown in movies, maybe get, the people in like 300, you get 300 dudes running around with six packs. And then, maybe in some romance movie, guys are falling for like the skinny girl or something like that. And I'm saying there's nothing wrong with those people in particular, those actors and actresses. I mean, they're just paid to do what they do. But really, we get the wrong idea of what's going on. And it's not really that we consciously make that decision. It's a subconscious decision that happens in our mind, is that we see, the the guy, with the six pack getting all the girls and whatever. I know this is, very overgeneralized stereotype, but it is true to a large extent. And that we see that happening in the real world ourselves, as, we do see, the odd, mediocre looking guy, not insulting the mediocre guy, but, getting the hot chick. We see that, it's very rare. We don't see it very common. And, we're kind of pressured, you gotta have the six pack, the girl doesn't want some fat dude. And that's true. That's very, to an extent, very true, that, you should be able to look good in your body. You should put effort into it to make yourself look great. But kind of where the pressure comes in, and where most guys really collapse on all the pressure, is that all this pressure creates them in it creates in their mind like this kind of timeline that, what, I've got this, got to get this great body right now in like the next couple months. And in all honesty, that's not really going to happen. And most of us really fail when it comes to reaching our goals, is that we set an incorrect timeline for ourselves in our own mind. Is that, maybe if I gym for maybe even 12 months, a year, it's an entire year, that's a pretty long time, I'm going to have the body I want. And maybe if, you've got the really good genetics, and, like, you've got a personal trainer, and your nutrition, spot on, like you learned everything the first month and you did it for a whole year, maybe that will happen, maybe. But for most of us, it's going to take over a year. And really building on muscle, and really putting on, big size and mass, right, without going on some insane bulk, right? For most of us, that's going to take a long time, and we need to set that realistic timeline. Maybe it's take me 2 to 3 years, right, to really get in the physique that I ideally want, right? Getting that really big mass, not looking like overly huge, but, like nice big arms, you like thick chest, thick back, nice good looking legs, abs, all the full enchilada. Getting all of that, it's going to take time. And kind of where the social pressure comes in on having to look good is that, you want to have this body now, so that you want to have the body as soon as you can, so you can now go out and approach girls and approach guys, whoever, if you're a girl or a guy. You want to have that already done so you can progress, right? That makes sense. Step number one on the list, right? Got to get the body I want so I can go approach all these girls and have some success. Now, the problem with that is that making it step one is that you have to wait to go and execute. You have to go and wait to, go and start picking up girls or guys, right? That's the big problem. That's where most people collapse, is that they now have to wait. And when they see their body is not changing at the rate they want, they start doing, fucked up shit. They start going on insane workouts or really insane diets, where they really dieting, at insane deficits, like 1,000 calories a day, something like that. Or maybe even doing, not even really eating foods that they don't enjoy. And like maybe they go on a cookie cutter diet, like broccoli, brown rice, and chicken. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you can stick out with that, great. But a lot of guys really can't stick with that for a really long period of time. People think, okay, I'm gonna go with this diet for 1 year, gym for a whole year, and they start doing that, but they don't think about it in terms of the long-term progress. They think like after year one, shit's gonna magically happen, and then they're gonna be able to eat whatever they want, or they don't even think about what's gonna happen after that year mark. And what really I'm trying to get across here is that you have to plan out what you're doing now. You have to plan out your diet and what you're eating now to last you over many years. I'm not saying you have to eat the same thing, but I'm saying you're gonna have like this menu, right, of kind of things you're gonna choose from. and, kind of like a flexible diet. I'm not saying, eat whatever you want, just as long as it fits in your macros. I mean, I don't really believe in that, but I believe in sort of like a flexible diet. Maybe if you go out, you just equate for calories every single day. Maybe, starve yourself but during the day so you can have a little bit of a binge later on. Something like that, just so you equate for calories. Maybe once in a while, once a month. I'm not saying you do that often because that can lead into a very bad thing. And I spoke about that in my intermittent fasting video that I did on the review on Keto Body. So if you want to check that out. But now coming back from a little tangent I went on, is that you have to be very sustainable in what you choose. And I noticed this done in myself where, I really wanted to put on the mass. I started, increasing the volume I'm doing in every session. In every gym session, what that means is I started doing, more sets, more reps, everything more. Started to include as much as I can. And I noticed I burnt out a lot, started overtraining. And how I noticed that was that, my sleep was bullshit. I was waking up in the middle of the night, stop getting boners, things like that. And not getting a boner when you wake up in the morning is a very serious problem. And it's a good indicator that something's wrong with your testosterone and your hormones, but that's another thing. But dealing with those social pressures is what's really going to matter here, and that you can't wait for the perfect time to go out and do anything, right? As soon as you really give yourself maybe 2 to 3 months, say, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym, right? After I've got that, as a habit, I'm going to the gym. I don't need to, go on some crazy motivation, watch out 10 YouTube videos on motivation, then going to the gym. If you've got it as a habit, you got your workout plan for like the next 6 months, your diet. I mean, you've experimented with your diet for 1 month and, you're sticking to it, you're enjoying it, right? And you definitely can stick to it for like 6 years, whatever. And then, you're okay with it. You've planned out your day so that you can go to the gym, how often you do every week. After you've got that down, right? You may not have the body you want, but after you got that routine down, right, of that nice healthy routine of going to the gym and whatever, then you can start, approaching people. You can really start building those relationships that you want. You may not have the perfect body, but it's all about making those steps, because the huge mindset shift that you have from going, to not really caring about your body, to really caring and putting a lot of effort into it and having that ambition to really, have a great physique. That is what really people want to see in another person, right? Especially when you go out to anyone. When you go out to anyone and make a friend or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever, the greatest thing that you ever see in anyone else, anyone that you meet with, is ambition. You can see the drive in someone, and that's really what attracts people to each other, whether it's friends, romantic relationships, long life friends, wife, husband, whatever. That's really the big thing that you want, that you see in relationships is, people with ambition. And I was recently listening to a podcast on, I'm forgetting that, Trip Advice. I've been listening to him for a long time. He's a dating coach and he gives awesome advice. And he had a guest on, I forgot what his name was, and he says, go out with boldness. What that means is that people are really attracted to that ambition and that drive, to go for something greater. It's not necessarily, like Arnold Schwarzenegger ambition where he wanted to be a Mr. Olympia and a governor and a actor. I mean, we don't have to go so extreme, but at that just pure ambition from going from where you are now, you may be some, obese guy having the ambition to get a six-pack, right? That pure ambition, right, is really attractive to other people. And that's really want to focus on you. Because that's sometimes, like the media, what it really gets us to think is close us off and really think about what's going on right now. And we don't tend to think about the long game, right? That's why I stopped watching so much TV and stuff like that, is because I tried to control what my own thoughts and what's manifesting in my own mind. And that's very important. So now I notice I'm going on a bit of a ramble now, so I'm going to kind of end the video and just kind of wrap it up. So what I want you guys to take away is that just really keep in mind the big picture of what's going on, right? Don't do anything that's not going to be sustainable in the future. Just don't do it, right? It's great that you're getting started, with fitness and whatever, but you need to be sustainable whatever you do, right? If you have McDonald's 3 times a day, change it down to twice a day, then to once a day, and then You have it maybe once a month, then once a year. Sustainable decisions like that will really, really improve your life and keep it there for as long as you live. And that's the biggest point, is that long-term sustainability. And again, ambition is so important. It's so important that people see that ambition in you, right? You don't need to have the finished product when you go out there to show people that what your ambition has done already. Even if they see your progress, they see your ambition, that's good enough. That's good enough. Don't go out there before, like, okay, I'm going to do it next year, New Year's resolution. No. They see you doing it already. They see that ambition, that drive, that progress, right? Somewhere in the middle. Start, thinking about starting it and finished. You need to be there, actually doing it and having that ambition for the finished product. That's really the medium in which I want you to stick in, right there in the middle. That balance, that moderation in your life is so important. And that's what will really bring you a lot of happiness. So I hope you guys learned something useful here, because this is something, a really big sticking point in my life that no one really told me before I went into starting going to the gym, is that the kind of pressures and stuff that you'll face, from your friends, the social media, all this kind of stuff. It really puts this pressure on you. And I want to go into life remembering all these things, keeping in mind that there will be this pressure, but you have to be strong-willed to say, you know what, this is my plan, this is my long-term plan to achieve success and happiness in my life, and that's what really matters. So catch you guys in the next video.